Hello, it's me, that divination witch. I hope you're all doing well. I'm back with another witchy video, and this is a very personal one about Hecate, and you'll know from the title and thumbnail, but this is me answering how Hecate changed my life. And yes, I'm going to be vulnerable and real. Not that I'm never not real, because I always am. But very vulnerable with this one, so yeah, let's get into it. Now, if you're new here, hello, welcome. I'm Sarah. I'm that divination witch. I do hope you stick around. This is a safe space where you are free to ask questions. Everyone is different. Everyone starts somewhere. Ask away. Nothing silly. Don't be afraid. And if you would like to support the channel further and support me further, I offer readings and I have a Patreon and YouTube memberships. I'm teaching tarot at the moment. I'm trying to teach some other things as well. Watch this space. Please check it out. I'd be so grateful. Thank you. How has Hecate changed my life? So I've just got done filming something else at time of filming. I don't know what order things go up because that's me. I'm always like this one then that one. It's whatever I'm drawn to at the time. But Hecate got me to talk about her. She drew me to talk about her and explain who she is and what that means and talk about her in a more in-depth way, I suppose. And so I feel drawn to talk about this as well. And I feel she's like, yeah, do it, Sarah, talk about it. Because a lot of people who are getting into paganism or witchcraft or both, because they can be separate, don't really know why. Of course, a lot of people do, but some don't. Now, I'm not knocking it, but to be a witch right now is very trendy. It's been on trend for a few years. And there's a lot of ascetic witchcraft things out there on Instagram, on TikTok. You know, you see these fancy spells and cute little jar spells, things like this. Nice tarot card decks. Here, I'm a sucker for the tarot card decks. There's some beautiful ones out there. And it's all very aesthetically pleasing. As Grumpy Old Crone said about the colouring book grimoires and things like this, there is a lot of witchy aesthetics, even in fashion. You know, a lot of cottagecore, a lot of fairycore and whimsical dresses, and you know, it's on trend to feel like a woodland elf. It's a trendy thing right now, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking it. I feel when it comes to witchcraft, it's cyclical, as in the trend may die out and then come back again. It was on trend in the 90s when I first started. I took a break and then I started again in 2018 when Hecate reached out to me, and I've explained that on the channel before. But way back in the 90s, I was into Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the original, although I do like the newer one as well. But I was into Sabrina, it was trendy, there was literally books, like my first witchcraft book. I've tried to find it again, but for the life of me, this one I can't. If anyone knows it, put it in the comments, because I want to get this book. It was bright pink and metallic, the cover, and it had like embossed squares on it, and it was something teenage witch, spells of a teenage witch, something like that, but it was bright pink, the book, and it was square and quite big. This is me trying to illustrate something big. Anyways, that was my introduction to things. And then from there, I got the Witch's Bible, which is still around. It's Wiccan though, even though it's the Witch's Bible. And that taught me at a very young age what ceremonial Wicca was. And what skyclad was. It's always a little running joke. There's nothing wrong with going skyclad. It means being wild and free, no clothes basically. But in the book, it was like this middle-aged man and woman doing a ritual. I'm like, what the heck is this? You know, it was trendy though, you know, and it died out and it's back again. And who knows If you got into witchcraft because of a trend, fine. I did years back. It's fine. It's whatever. It's when people treat it just as a trend, yeah, you might have been introduced that way, but if you're going to put in the work and try and learn and grow, fair enough. If you're just going to say it's a trend and leave it, okay, fair enough as well. It doesn't matter, though, if you were introduced to Hecate through a trend, is what I'm trying to say. Because she can still change your life. She can still shape you and help you if you take it serious. It could develop into something more. So for me, all right, I've alluded to this. I started when I was 14, 15, in the 90s, into the noughties. Then I stopped. I always believed in, to be honest, in witchcraft. I always believed in ghosts and that there was something more. I just didn't know what religion. I even had a brief stint at reading the Bible, trying all that out, because I had a friend who was a Baptist at the time, and it just wasn't for me. And then in 2018, and you find this is a common theme, after it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. It was a big build up, and then I lost my grandma. She's not the first person I've lost, as in passed away. Something just switched and changed. And Hecate made herself known. Didn't even know who the heck she was, to be honest. And I was like a lot of beginners who come to me. I was scared at first, especially when I had a friend at the time said, "Oh, she's so dark and scary." Sorry, my computer beeped. "Oh, she's so dark and you want to be careful and blah, blah, blah." I mean, of course it's going to scare you. Ugh, the eye roll. Anyways, she changed my life because she opened me up to know that there is more out there, and that I wasn't alone, and that, yeah, there was more questions to be asked and more answers to seek. So before Hecate, I said there was a big build up and this snapped. I was quite a shy person. I still am. You can probably tell from the way I talk in my videos. It's been pointed out to me before. I try not to be so shy, but yes, I am a softie. I'm a big softie. I do have PTSD, CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and basically that means I had a bit of a rough start growing up emotionally, and I still do go through it with certain family members and things like this as a grown woman. And that just means that I have baggage, but don't we all? A lot of people do, and a lot of people Hecate finds do. So when my grandma died, I had lost people before that, but there was something about her. Her name was Mary. Okay, I don't mind sharing that. And Mary, I know a lot of people are called Mary, a hell of a lot, but it just makes me feel like Mother Mary. It just makes me feel warm, comforted. I just feel like, yeah, like a nice, nice vibe to it. Anyways, Mary died on my birthday as well, which at time of filming's next week. So it's always a bit of a tough time around my birthday, and I don't know if that helped me kind of be like, enough's enough. But I was a very shy, timid person because of what I've been through, and honestly, I was a people pleaser to the max. Hated confrontation, got myself in situations I didn't really want to be in because I didn't know how to say no. I didn't want to upset people. I had friends that were not exactly nice all the time. Some were, some weren't. I just went along with things I didn't really want to do just to keep the peace and things like this. I was in a job I'd been in for 10 years. That was horrible and soul-sucking and soul-destroying. And even when I left that job, like, I left it because I was treated like shit, because I didn't want to be perceived, if I'm quite honest. I had no confidence in me or in anything, and I just wanted to hide away in a shell. I didn't want anyone to know who I was or to be known or anything, and I just wanted to be invisible. And that's how I felt. And I get moments like that still. And that's how, like, me doing YouTube's big bloody deal. This is Hecate. A part of me wanted something more, but I had no confidence to do it, So there was something in this synchronicity of my poor Nana, Mary, passing on my birthday that time. It was like, enough's enough. I'm being raw and personal with you, but obviously I'm not going to go too much in depth. But people pleasing with a family member, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. I've got to start looking after me, I was, I turned 28 that birthday. So, yeah, I'm 35. So that's 6 years of me and Hecate. Wow. 6 into 7 years, I think. I can't do maths. Anyways. It was just too much, man. It was just too much. And I basically said enough's enough and had to push myself out my comfort zones and draw a boundary. And I broke free, basically, of the situation I was in, to put it like that. And I started doing things for me. Travelled the world. Well, to me, the world. Been to Canada, been to America several times. For me, in a little city wasn't even a city at the time, small town, northeast of England, that was a huge freaking deal. I got to a point where I felt confident enough I'd just hop on a train to London and just go to London because I can. Or hop on a train to Edinburgh, explore things. I still like to see things. It's just we've all been through the panini. I feel like that's changed us all as a whole. And I don't get to do that as much as I want to anymore. But we're getting back into it now. We're breaking another comfort zone again. We're getting back into it. But I started doing things for me, and then I circumstances changed, and I moved cities, and I'm where I am now without doxing myself. And I have my little familiar who I don't want to share because there's wicked witches out there. But yeah, I've got a new life, a new lease for life. And then I started on my spiritual journey with Hecate. And yes, how that shaped me was setting boundaries. I am still a softie. I can still people please. But when enough's enough, I know it. And there are people that are no longer in my life that were once in my life, who I used to pander to, who I stopped doing so. Because when you change your energy, just naturally by the psychology of things, people who were used to taking advantage of you that no longer can, because you know how to say no, they naturally leave your life, even if you don't believe in magic. That's the psychology of things. If they can't get whatever it is they want from you anymore, then yeah, that's it. So I changed, as in I now set boundaries, and there are certain boundaries I still need to work on because I'm a softie and I've got a big heart and I do like to help people. And I help a lot of people through doing readings, spiritual guidance, things like this. There are people who have came to me with, I feel like Ghostbusters sometimes, basically, with problems with spirits, for example. I'm going to give you a story, I'm not going to name them. But a person I helped in the past recently reached out to me again, and it wasn't like a reading they bought. They hadn't spent any money because they just reached out to me and asked to get on a call with me to help them with some nasty spirits around them. And at the time, I was sick, literally, and I had no time. Number one, as much as I love to help people, this is my job. This pays my bills. And if I've got paying customers, they come first. I'll help to an extent. I'll give advice till I'm blue in the face, and I do. It's frustrating when people don't take the advice. When I tell people, you need to stay on top of spiritual hygiene, you need to keep cleansing, you need to keep yourself protected, and people don't. And then they're like, oh no, there's a spirit. Well, what do you expect? If you're not keeping on top of things, they're gonna slip in. Anywho, yes, I don't like to turn people away though, because I am kind like that, and I explain to them, look, I'm not well. I literally don't have time. Gave them a little bit of advice. They didn't listen, and then the next day, when I'm still unwell, pestered me again, and I've had to just ghost that person, and I feel awful for doing that. I do. I feel like a nasty person that I did that. But that's a boundary. You didn't respect my boundary. Like, I told you I wasn't well and I didn't have enough time to help, and I'm sorry, but no. And I've also, at the time, because this is my life now, and I had paying customers waiting. I've got about 20 odd people on hold, and it's not all about the money, don't get me wrong, but you're coming to me without paying for anything as well, and asking me to help you free of charge. And I've already explained I'm unwell, and you still pestered me the next day. I'm sorry, I'm not going to help someone like that, but I still feel guilty over it. I do, even now. I feel, oh, fuck. But I'm not responsible for that. And that's how Hecate has changed me, because she meets people's attitude in kind. And there's times I've been sassy. I've been sassy where I wouldn't have been before, because someone's been sassy to me. If you're going to be a dick to me, I'm going to be a dick back to you. You don't deserve my empathy and kindness if you can't give me empathy. Like that person told you I wasn't well. You still do it. I told you I can't right now. But literally the day after you do it again. You didn't respect me there. That didn't show me any respect. So I still feel guilty. And that's something I need to work on because of my traumas, because people pleaser. But that's how she's changing me, getting me to have a voice, to speak up, to not be so timid, to not say, okay, I'll do it. Because then I'm giving out so much energy, I have nothing for me, and I burn out. Another thing, I never used to have a day off. Now I'm like, no, I'm having boundaries, I'm having days off, I'm having time to me, and it's really, at time of filming, this is technically my day off, so it's not really a day fully off. But still, she's changed me to be more assertive, more self-assured, and to set those boundaries. She's also introduced me to several other types of spirits and deities, and I'm not just talking left-hand path. People always say left-hand path. Yes, I have worked left-hand path. I have worked with some, what you would call demons. King Belial, King Beleth, President Valak, Lilith. And if it wasn't for Hecate, I wouldn't have met any of them. I have also worked with other deities like Morrigan. She is a recent deity that I have worked with, and I need to speak with her today actually, and I will after filming. But yes, that's a recent one. If it wasn't for Hecate, I wouldn't have met any of my ancestral spirits, because I wouldn't have bothered to even look at that. So that's Frigg, that's Loki and Hel, and even Odin in that. And Freya too. And then past lives, Izanami, Shintoism. I learn, I feel honoured to, like, eternally flipping grateful that I get to do readings with so many people and spirits. People meaning you guys. I appreciate every single one of you that gets a reading from me. From the bottom of my heart, I do. And I have a lot of repeat customers. And I've even made friends with some of you through that. My friend Lauren, who's been on the channel, she is my best friend. And I love her to bits. And I wouldn't have met her if it wasn't for Hecate. I meet people from all over the world. Even on my Patreon, we've got people from the States, we've got people from Germany, Finland, South Africa. Blooming, when would I ever get an opportunity to meet someone from South Africa? I get to meet other practitioners through the podcast she's got me doing. I've met wonderful people. through the years, following other practitioners as well, even on YouTube, learning about history of the world, and then the deities I've met. It blows my mind. I am so fortunate, and I am eternally grateful. I try to do as many shout outs as I could. I am so sorry if I haven't shouted you out, by the way, because I am grateful to you all. And I do pay attention as best I can, but a lot of readings I do have to switch off mind after, because I do a lot. If I keep them all in the memory bank, I'll crack up. But truly, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to learn. That's the main thing. And it's learning not just about histories of the world, not just about different deities and mythologies, but about people. And that's, as much as I hate people, I love them. And I love you guys. And I know this is so cheesy. You all gave my life meaning. She gave my life meaning. And honestly, from the lost, timid woman who just didn't want to be perceived to this, that's how she changed my life. And yes, this is an emotional video, and yes, my little pet bunny is at my feet now. My little familiar. Yeah, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have him. Even God, I wouldn't know anything. I wouldn't be here. Ooh, so yeah, she changed me so much, and I'm eternally grateful, and I love her very much, if you can't tell. And I know a lot of you do as well. And if you want to share, you don't have to. People do share to me all the time, how she's helped them. Just, if you're new to this, keep an open mind and try not to be scared. Try not to listen to these fear-mongering assholes. Stay safe, everyone. Stay witchy. That's how I end my video. I don't know what else to say. Just let her in, do your thing, keep an open mind, don't put expectations on things, and love yourself. Alright, stay safe, stay witchy, bye.